Emily Carter had always been known in her neighborhood as the quiet, studious girl. She lived in a small suburban town in America, a place where everyone knew each other's business and secrets were nearly impossible to keep. Emily's house sat at the edge of a narrow street lined with maple trees, which in the autumn cast long, twisting shadows that stretched across the pavement as dusk fell. Her bedroom, tucked in the back corner of the house, overlooked the backyard where an old swing swayed in the wind even when no one was there to push it. On a chilly Friday evening, Emily had stayed up late to finish a research project for her high school history class. Rain tapped lightly against the windows, and the soft hum of distant traffic mixed with the whispers of wind through the trees created a strange, almost eerie atmosphere. Normally these sounds comforted her. They reminded her she wasn't alone. But tonight something felt different. The air in the room seemed heavier, colder, as if it carried a presence she couldn't see. Her phone sat on the desk beside her textbooks, screen glowing dimly as she referenced pages from a thick history book. Emily's focus was broken by the sudden vibration of the phone, followed by the shrill ringtone she had set weeks ago. Her eyes widened as she saw the screen. Unknown number. Her fingers hovered over the phone, hesitating for what felt like an eternity. Trembling, she pressed the green button to answer. The line was silent at first, then a soft, irregular breathing echoed through the speaker. Emily's hands shook violently. "Hello? Who is this?" she asked, her voice trembling. There was no response, only that slow, chilling laugh. It was low, hollow, almost whispering, and it made the hairs on the back of her neck stand on end. Emily dropped the phone. Her heart pounded like a drum. She could barely breathe. "It's probably a prank, just a prank," she murmured to herself. But the unease didn't subside. Every instinct in her body screamed at her that something was wrong, that this was no ordinary prank call. Minutes later, the same number called again. Emily's phone rang insistently, louder this time, as if it knew she couldn't ignore it. Her desk lamp flickered slightly, casting erratic shadows across the walls. She picked it up again, only to hear a distorted version of her own voice. "Emily, open the door." Her blood ran cold. The bedroom door, which she had locked, creaked slightly as though pushed by an invisible hand. The cold that seeped in was unnatural, biting through the warmth of her blanket and chilling her bones. She froze, unable to move, staring at the phone screen, which now glowed with a strange, almost sinister light. Hours seemed to stretch. The room grew darker, the shadows more pronounced, and Emily's fear escalated. Her eyes darted to the window, where she thought she saw a faint silhouette, tall, still, watching. She blinked, and it was gone. The rain outside intensified, tapping harder against the glass, almost in rhythm with her racing heartbeat. At approximately 3 a.m., Emily's phone rang once more. She could no longer deny that this was not normal. The number appeared on the screen. "Incoming call, Emily." Her hands trembled as she answered. The line was silent at first, then a voice, eerily familiar, unmistakably hers, whispered, "Emily, open the door." She felt a suffocating presence behind her. The door moved, slowly swinging on its own. Panic surged. She stumbled backward, tripping over a stack of textbooks. The wind from the slightly open window whipped her hair across her face. She gasped, heart hammering. And then, the lights went out completely. Only the glow from the phone illuminated the room, casting her reflection faintly on the walls. Words blinked across the screen in a rhythm that matched her panicked heartbeat. "I am here." Emily's breath hitched. The door creaked again, louder this time, and then it slammed open with a force that made the entire room shake. A cold gust of air rushed in, and then she saw her, standing in the doorway, pale, identical to Emily in every way. But her eyes were jet black, and her smile was twisted, inhuman. "Now you study? I live your life," the doppelganger whispered. Emily screamed, trying to run, but her legs gave out. She collapsed to the floor. Her eyes remained open, staring blankly, devoid of life. The phone slipped from her hand, still glowing, still vibrating with an unknown energy. The next morning, neighbors arrived, alerted by the rain's pounding and Emily's unanswered alarms. They found the room in chaos, books and papers scattered, the chair overturned, and Emily's lifeless body on the floor. Her phone lay on the desk, displaying a call log. Call from Emily. Police investigations yielded no explanation. Weeks passed, but the horror did not end. Her neighbor Sarah, studying in the same neighborhood, received a similar call one rainy night. Her phone displayed, "Incoming call Emily." Trembling, she answered. A whisper came through. "I don't want to be alone. Now it's your turn." Sarah fainted, waking hours later with no memory of what had happened during that brief but terrifying moment. By now, the entire street was under a veil of fear. Phones rang randomly, always from the unknown number, and anyone who answered would collapse, pale and shaken. The townsfolk began sharing stories of shadows moving, whispers in the night, objects slightly displaced, as though unseen hands were rearranging reality itself. Mr. Johnson, an elderly man who had lived in the neighborhood for decades, decided to investigate. He entered Emily's house one stormy night, picked up the glowing phone, and a whisper immediately hissed, "Now you're part of my story too." The temperature in the room plummeted, and strange white blotches appeared on the walls. Mr. Johnson realized that Emily's soul had become trapped inside the device. He warned the neighborhood, never answer unknown calls. Some, curious or skeptical, ignored the warning, and each time the same chilling words would echo, "Are you ready for your turn?" Emily's trapped spirit fed on curiosity and fear, ensuring that the horror spread like wildfire. New residents moved in, only to experience nights filled with ringing phones, shadows, and whispers. The terror became a permanent part of life, lurking silently in every household. Even attempts to destroy the phone proved futile. Mr. Johnson once tried to take it to an abandoned church. The moment he stepped inside, the phone lit up, whispering, "You're on my list now." The realization sank in. Emily's spirit could not be destroyed. It had found a way to exist through the fear and the unknown. And so, the nightmare continued. The phone rang each night, claiming new victims, spreading panic, and cementing Emily's story as a chilling warning. Never answer unknown calls, for curiosity can be the last mistake you ever make. And somewhere, in a dark room, the phone still rings, always whispering, "You could be next."